أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. I seek refuge in Allah from Shaitan the wretched one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Raheem. I begin in the name of Allah, the compassionate, the most merciful. Tasim Mim. Tilka ayatul kitabil mubin. Tasim Mim. These are the verses of a luminous book. A book which is self-explanatory, clear. لَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ أَلَّا يَكُونُوا مُؤْمِنِينَ. Perhaps thou shalt kill and destroy thyself with grief because they do not become believers. إِن نَشَأْ نُنَزِّلْ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ آيَةً فَظَلَّتْ أَعْنَاقُهُمْ لَهَا خَاضِعِينَ. If we will, we can send down to them a sign from the heavens so that their necks would become submissive to it, meaning their heads would be bowed down low in subjection. وَمَا يَأْتِيهِمْ مِنْ ذِكْرٍ مِّنَ الرَّحْمَنِ مُحْدَثٍ إِلَّا كَانُوا عَنْهُ مُعْرِضِينَ. And there does not come to them any fresh admonition from Ar-Rahman, the compassionate one, but they are wanting to be turning away from it. فَقَدْ كَذَّبُوا فَسَيَأْتِيهِمْ أَنْبَاءُ مَا كَانُوا بِهِ يَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. So they have surely belied. Very soon there shall appear to them the reality and truth of what they had been mocking at. أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا إِلَى الْأَرْضِ كَمْ أَنْبَتْنَا فِيهَا مِنْ كُلِّ زَوْجٍ كَرِيمٍ. Do they not observe the earth, how we caused to grow in there every manner of fruit? Or in other words, how we have grown every sort of beneficial species in it. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً وَمَا كَانَ أَكْثَرُهُمْ مُؤْمِنِينَ. Verily, therein is a sign, but most of them are not believers. وَإِنَّ رَبَّكَ لَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الرَّحِيمُ. And surely thy Lord, He is mighty, the most merciful. This is the first ruku' of Surah Al-Shu'ara, the Surah of Poets, which was revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in Makkatul Mukarramah, which has 220 ayat and 11 rukus. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off the surah with the abbreviation words Tasim Mim. These are called Huruf Muqatta'at. There is some message in there which Allah knows best. What is there? Inshallah we will talk about it at some time in future. Allah is saying, Tilka ayatul kitabil mubin. These verses which are revealed to you are the verses of a luminous book. They are not your writing, O Muhammad. You did not sit down on the table and write it with your hands. They are a clear-cut book which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on to console and give tasalli to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. لَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ أَلَّا يَكُونُوا مُؤْمِنِينَ. O Prophet, is it possible that you are going to destroy yourself with grief because they do not become believers? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the beginning used to stay in extreme solitude, and he was extremely zealous for the conversion of the people to Islam. So he would contemplate and he would pray, and for them he would make dua for them. He would go around, talk to them in their homes, in their gatherings, in their localities, wherever possible, in whichever manner possible. But the people of Makkah would not pay any attention. Of course, this must have had a grave effect on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that why are they not believing? Hazrat Maulana Abdul Majid Daryabadi rahmatullah alayhi writes over here in his footnotes a quote from a Christian writer. He says, tinged as it is by sheer antipathy and hostility, the testimony of a Christian writer is remarkable. He writes, in the materialistic commercial town of Makkah, where lust of gain and usury reigned supreme, where women, wine and gambling filled up the leisure time, where might was right, and widows, orphans and the feeble were treated as superfluous ballast, An unfortunate being like Muhammad, if his constitution were sensitive, must have experienced the most painful emotions. Muhammad felt his misery as a pain too great to be endured. Hugh Gronje, Muhammadanism, page 28. So, this explains what Allah Pak is trying to say. لَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ أَنْ لَا يَكُونُ مُؤْمِنِينَ. Oh Muhammad, why do you grieve so much? Or why do you keep grieving? And don't destroy yourself. Take it easy. Take things easy. If Allah wills, then He could send down a sign from the heavens, and He could force them to believe. But Allah does not will that. It's not Allah's decree to force anyone into believing, which is mentioned over here. If it confirmed with our universal scheme to force them to submission, then we would have done that. But it is against our universal scheme to force anyone into belief. That is why Allah is saying, إِن نَشَأْ نُنَزِّلْ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ آيَةً فَظَلَّتْ أَعْنَاقُهُمْ لَهَا خَاضِعِينَ. And they would have no option but to believe. But this would deprive them of the freedom of their choice and would make them automata. And Allah does not want to make them automata. Allah does not want to make them like robots which are programmed and they do what there is programmed. Allah has not made us like robots. He has given understanding, intellect, wisdom. He has given us free will so that the test can be completed. This is virtue, this is vice, this is good, this is bad. Do good, avoid bad. And if we take that choice, then upon that choice we will be repaid, either rewarded or punished according to our actions. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not forced anyone into belief. This is what Allah is saying, إِن نَشَأْ نُنَزِّلْ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ آيَةً فَظَلَّتْ أَعْنَاقُهُمْ لَا خَاضِعِينَ. But this is against our wish. That's why we are not forcing anyone into belief. And so to do your duty and deliver the message, whoever is to believe will believe, whoever is to refuse will refuse. Allah is saying, O Muhammad, do you not see that وَمَا يَأْتِيهِمْ مِنْ ذِكْرٍ مِنَ الرَّحْمَنِ مُحْدَثٍ إِلَّا كَانُوا عَنْهُ مُعْرِضِينَ. Whenever there comes unto them any reminder from Rahman, any admonition, any advice, any nasihat, they always want to deny it and turn away from it. And this admonition, this nasihat should be enough for them. Surah Al-Shu'ara is among the earliest surahs to be revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah is saying that, O Muhammad, we have revealed to you surah upon surah, surah upon surah, surah upon surah. And there is enough signs in there for them if they want to believe. But they just turn away and go away from you. We see the sign, we believe, but they see the signs and they turn away. This is the difference. This is what Allama Shabir Ahmad Usmani Rahmatullahi explained with regards to those scientists who observe the signs within the creation of Allah and still turn away from them. And between those scientists who observe the sign and admit and submit themselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like in the documentary which we have placed on our website, The Creator's Signature. The scientist is a Muslim and he believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He looks at the signs and he says, these are signs of the truth and the haqqaniyyat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His existence, He is there. He is the creator, He is the sustainer, and He takes care of the universe. So the signs are there. But it's up to us to look at them and to observe and to understand and to believe. So Allah is saying, these mushrikeen of Makkah, the pagans, their attitude is that they turn away from these signs. Allah is saying, فَقَدْ كَذَّبُوا. They have surely belied and denied and rejected. فَسَيَأْتِيهِمْ أَنْبَاءُ مَا كَانُوا بِهِ يَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. The truth of that which they had been mocking will surely come to them. What is the truth of that? The azab, the punishment of Allah that is waiting for them is surely about to come upon them. May Allah protect us from His punishment. Allah's punishment comes and it takes over everyone. We were mentioning about the natural disasters. Dr. Zakir Naik mentioned this very nice quote, a note with regards to these natural disasters. Someone said that these disasters come, and in the disasters, those people who are wicked die as well as those who are good. Both types of people die. What is the reason for that? At least the good people should survive. So he explained that the disaster is only a cause of death. nobody dies before his time. The time is finished. The term has expired. That is, everybody who dies in the disaster, maybe 200,000-300,000, they all died on their time. Nobody died before the time. We have to first remember that. إِنَّ أَجَلَ اللَّهِ إِذَا جَاءَ لَا يُؤَخَّرُ فَإِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهُمْ لَا يَسْتَأْخِرُونَ سَاعَةً وَلَا يَسْتَقْدِمُونَ. So, their term was finished. Now, they have gone to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they will be resurrected on the day of Qiyamah, and the account will be taken for them. The good will be repaid for their good, and the bad will be punished for their evilness. And he explained that this is like when the students are in the examination room, and when the examination time finishes 12 o'clock, the examiners will say, okay, time's up now, hand in your papers. So even if you have written good paper or bad paper, you still have to give it. If you have finished or your paper is unfinished, you still have to give it. You can't say my time, your time is finished. You have to give the paper, and then the examiners will look at it, and they will mark the papers. They will give you the results at a later date. Similarly, these people's time had expired. No one went before. It was only a cause. This was a cause for death. Someone dies through sickness, illness. Someone dies natural death. Someone dies in old age. Someone dies in accident. Whatever happens is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The time was finished, and they will be either rewarded or punished according to the actions on the day of Qiyamah. So, this is what explained. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that the reality of that which they had been mocking, the punishment of azab of Allah, will soon fall upon them. And it did fall upon them. It took a little bit of time, maybe 5-10 years, for that azab to come in the form of the Battle of Badr. When the Battle of Badr took place, and the mushrikeen were humiliated in that battle, and they suffered a heavy loss and defeat. That was something which was foretold by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then after the death, the punishment of qabr, the azab of qabr, and the ahwal of qabr, that is going to come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, don't think that you're going to live in this dunya forever. You're never going to die. You will die, and you will suffer what is going to come to you. Allah is saying, أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا إِلَى الْأَرْضِ كَمْ أَنْبَتْنَا فِيهَا مِنْ كُلِّ زَوْجٍ كَرِيمٍ. The one signs, Allah is saying, have they not seen the earth, how we have grown in it, every manner of fruit. Allama Maulana Abdul Majid Daryabadi narrates over here as every manner of fruit. But Aisha Bewli and Abdul Haq Bewli translate it as every beneficial species to grow in it. Zawjin Kareem, Zawj is used for pairs. So pair of everything. Even in that documentary, the scientist says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned pairs in everything. So in animals, in fruits, in plants, people did not know that there are pairs in plants and in fruits as well. There are male and females in there. Quran said this 1400 years ago. Allah said this, Zawjin Kareem. We have created Zawj. وَجَعَلْنَا فِيهَا وَمِن كُلٍّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَا زَوْجَيْنِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Everything we created in pairs. Allah wanted to show that He is the alone. He is the one. He has no partner. He has no one like Him. He is the unique, and He is the ultimate one. And there is no other thing which is one. Everything will come in pairs. So Allah is saying we have created everything in pairs. This is Zawj's meaning. Imam Qurtubi rahmatullah alayhi has said something really nice over here. He said Zawj is sometimes used for lawn and color as well in Arabic language. And Kareem is sometimes used for Hasan and beautiful as well. So over here, Zawjin Kareem could mean beautiful colors. So have they not seen the earth, how we have grown in it, from everything, beautiful colors? Meaning, look at the beautiful colors of the flowers, of the fruits, of the plants, and of the mountains, and of the creation. Even in the sands and in the stones, you will find beautiful colored stones, beautiful colored sands, and beautiful colored flowers. We have been to the Shalimar Gardens in India. Oh, wonderful garden, beautiful. And in India, Lahore as well, but Shalimar Garden, India as well. And I went there, we visited there. Oh, flowers upon flowers, various colors, and you would just marvel at the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Over here, go to the Chelsea flower show, and you will see, beautiful what mankind can do. But the plants initially are grown by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Man makes his mehnat and work, effort, but the creator is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala causes us to grow in the earth beautiful colors of everything and beautiful pairs and double of everything. Allah is saying that who created all that? Can you yourself create things like that? It is Allah who creates everything. Allah says, Inna fi zalika la-ayah. If you look at the creation of Allah, at the flowers, at the bees, and at the butterflies and their colors, and the peacocks and everything, and you look at the sky, how it's blue, sometimes grey, and sometimes red at the time of sunrise and sunset. Look at the colors therein. So in these things, a changing of everything, there is a sign in there for those who want to believe. Inna fi zalika la-ayah. However, وَمَا كَانَ أَكْثَرُهُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Most of them do not want to be believers. They just want to scoff and make fun and mock at the signs of Allah. May Allah protect us from that. May Allah give us tawfiq to pay heed and understand, and not just keep ourselves busy in the telly, in the movie, in the film, in the internet, and always in that life. No, just turn your little bit of attention towards the other side. Ponder over your life, why you have been created, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you on this planet, on this dunya. He brought you over here, He gave you some instructions, He wants you to do certain things. Follow the hidayat and guidance given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will be successful. If you don't do that, you will fail and you will lose. Allah is saying there is sign in there for those who want to believe. However, most people do not believe. وَإِنَّ رَبَّكَ لَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الرَّحِيمُ. And surely thy Lord is mighty, the most merciful. He is mighty, He is able to inflict punishment immediately. Because He is powerful, He is mighty. He can inflict punishment immediately without respite. However, He is also at the same time Ar-Rahim, the most merciful. He is granting respite in this world. He does not seize and hold to account immediately. He gives respite, He gives time, and slowly things move on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has His way of working in this dunya. So things happen according to the planning of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the first ruku and chapter finish of Surah Al-Shu'ara. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off with stories of the prophets. And why does Allah mention the stories of the prophets? Allah said in the 12th juz in Surah Hud, after mentioning some stories of the prophets, وَكُلًّا نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الرُّسُلِ مَا نُثَبِّتُ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. We narrate the stories of the prophets to you to strengthen your heart, to make you firm and strong. Allah says in another place, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصِهِمْ عِبْرَةٌ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. In their stories, there are lessons for those who have understanding. We as human beings like stories. Children like stories. When bedtime stories you tell them, they like it. Human beings, mankind, everybody likes stories. If you are sitting giving a speech, and in that speech you mention nice stories, people will listen attentively. But you go into technical debates, then people will fall asleep. So stories are an attraction for people. Stories bring the attention, attract the attention of the listeners. Allah is saying, "O Muhammad, we narrate these stories to you for a reason." Allah starts off with the story of Sayyidina Musa ala nabiyina wa alayhi salatu wasalam, telling him, showing him, look how Musa alayhi salam went through great hardships and he was steadfast. O Muhammad, you should also be steadfast. Look at how he had to go to Fir'aun and how harsh Fir'aun was with him. But still he persevered, and in the end he was successful, and Fir'aun was drowned. Musa alayhi salam was successful in his mission. So Muhammad, you also be patient, persevere. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant you success in this world and in the hereafter. Allah starts off with the story of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. وَإِذْ نَادَى رَبُّكَ مُوسَىٰ أَنِ ائْتِ الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. And recall when thy Lord said to Musa, go, O Musa, to an ungodly people. Al-Qawm al-Zalimin, to unjust people, Zalim people, people who are unjust, tyrant, oppressive. Go to them and warn them. قَوْمَ فِرْعَوْنَ أَلَا يَتَّقُونَ. The people of Fir'aun, do they not fear me? قَالَ رَبِّ إِنِّي أَخَافُ أَن يُكَذِّبُونَ. Musa said, my Lord, I fear he will call me a liar. He will deny and belie me. وَيَضِيقُ صَدْرِي وَلَا يَنْطَلِقُ لِسَانِي فَأَرْسِلْ إِلَىٰ هَارُونَ. And my breast is constricted, and my tongue does not move quickly. So send for Harun alayhi salam. وَلَهُمْ عَلَيَّ ذَنْبٌ فَأَخَافُ أَنْ يَقْتُلُونَ. And they have a crime against me, so I fear that they shall slay me and murder me. قَالَ كَلَّا. Allah said, by no means will they be able to do this. فَاذْهَبَا بِآيَاتِنَا. So go both of you with our signs. إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ مُسْتَمِعُونَ. We shall be with you listening. فَأْتِيَا فِرْعَوْنَ فَقُولَا إِنَّا رَسُولُ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Go both of you to Fir'aun and say, we are the messengers of the Lords of the worlds. أَنْ أَرْسِلْ مَعَنَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ. So that you should send with us the children of Israel. And the ruku goes on. Inshallah, we will continue after Salah.
Inshallah.
Ji, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning the story of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. وَإِذْ نَادَى رَبُّكَ مُوسَىٰ أَنِ ائْتِ الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Recall when thy Lord said to Musa alayhi salam, go thou to an ungodly people. قَوْمَ فِرْعَوْنَ. The people of Fir'aun. أَلَا يَتَّقُونَ. Do they not fear me? This wahi was sent down to Sayyidina Musa ala nabiyyina wa alayhi salatu wassalam when he was returning from Madian. After 10 years of khidmat and service of Sayyidina Shu'aib alayhi salam, he was returning from there. With him was his wife who was pregnant, and he was longing for his mother, his brother, his family. So he thought that my contract of 10 years is finished, so let me go now to visit my family. So Musa alayhi salam was returning, and on the way he lost his way during the night, and it was chilly night, wintry and cold, and they didn't have any light with them. So Musa alayhi salam saw at a distance some light on a mountain, and he said to his wife, you stay here, I'll go and get some light, or maybe something to keep us warm, burning some brand or something. So Musa alayhi salam goes there, and खुदा की देन का पूछिए मूसा से अहवाल, आग लेने को जाए पैगंबरी मिल जाए. He went to fetch fire, and Allah blessed him with prophethood. So it was Allah who deliberately took him there, because the Mount Tur Sina was out of his way, and he did not lose his way on his own accord. Allah made him lose that way. The Misr, Egypt was somewhere else, and Allah took him towards that direction. And then Allah blessed him with prophethood, which is mentioned in Surah Taha as well, and inshallah it will be coming in Surah Al-Naml as well, and Surah Al-Qasas as well. So Musa alayhi salam was given the instruction that, O Musa, go thou unto an ungodly people, unjust and zalim people, the people of Fir'aun. They do not fear me. Why do they not fear me? أَلَا يَتَّقُونَ. Do they have no taqwa and fear of me? Allah Pak is saying that when he gave this instruction, Musa alayhi salam said, قَالَ رَبِّ إِنِّي أَخَافُ أَن يُكَذِّبُونَ. My Lord, I fear that they will call me a liar. They won't believe me. Why will they not believe me? Because they are people who don't believe in God. So how are they going to believe me when I say I am a messenger of God? First they have to believe in God. When they deny God, then how are they going to believe in a messenger of God? So they will immediately say I am a liar. So how will I converse with them and talk to them? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, Musa alayhi salam said, another thing is وَيَضِيقُ صَدْرِي. My breast is straightened, constricted. I have this ضِيقُ الصَّدْر and constriction and contraction in my heart. I'm not fully at ease to undertake this task. That is why in Surah Taha he said, قَالَ رَبِّ اشْرَحْ لِي صَدْرِي وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي وَاحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِّسَانِي يَفْقَهُوا قَوْلِي. Oh Allah, open my breast for me. Make my task easy for me. Give me full confidence so I can feel that ease in my own heart, and then I can convince others as well. If I am not at ease myself, how am I going to convince others? So وَيَضِيقُ صَدْرِي, my heart is strictened and constricted. وَلَا يَنْطَلِقُ لِسَانِي, and my tongue does not move freely and quickly. I have this stuttering in my tongue. I cannot speak properly. What is the reason for that?
आपने बताया था ना पहले.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created all prophets free from faults and blemishes. Prophets were complete in physical form as well as spiritual form. So their physical abilities, their strength, energy, physical appearance was complete. And meaning, so Musa alayhi salam was also a complete personality. So where did this stuttering in his tongue come from? The Mufassirin narrate the story when Musa alayhi salam was in the house of Pharaoh. Maybe he was roughly about 2 to 3 years old, and Pharaoh adopted him as his own son because Pharaoh himself had no children. So he adopted Musa alayhi salam, and people knew Musa as Musa ibn Pharaoh, Musa son of Pharaoh. So Pharaoh sometimes used to play with Musa alayhi salam. So once he had Musa alayhi salam in his lap, and Musa alayhi salam suddenly got hold of his beard and slapped him. Pharaoh got really furious, angry. This is that same boy about whom the dream was seen that my kingdom perishes upon his hands. Because he had seen a dream that a fire had approached from the side of Bani Israel and burned down all the area and the vicinity and neighborhood of the Qibtis and the Pharaoh's family. And he asked for the interpretation. He was told that a son will be born among the Israelis on whose hands your kingdom will go. So Pharaoh, in order to take control of things, he gave an order that all children born in Bani Israel should be killed. And this infanticide was taking place in there. All boys were killed. The girls were let to live, but the boys were killed. So Musa alayhi salam's story takes place, and how his mother gives birth, and how Musa alayhi salam's father was put in charge of all the men of Bani Israel, and his mother was in charge of all the ladies of Bani Israel. And his mother is pregnant, but she hides her pregnancy, and she gives birth, and she is scared, and Allah reveals to her, don't worry, if someone comes, if the police come through Musa in the tanur, and we will take care of him. And this is what happened. And police came, she threw him in the tanur, the oven, and then the police searched everything, they went away, and she went looking in the tanur, Musa was alive, and smiling. She took him out. Allah said, put him in a basket and put him in the river Nile. I will do the rest. And she does that, and Musa alayhi salam ends up in the house of Pharaoh. The story will come in Surah Al-Qasas. So his wife Asiya said that, very beautiful child, we will adopt him, keep him in our house, take him as our son. Pharaoh said, no, he looks like the Israelis, it could be that child. But she said, no. She somehow convinced him, and he said, okay. So Musa alayhi salam started growing up. Now Pharaoh was still, at unease, and he wanted to kill Musa. He couldn't, because he didn't want to displease his wife Asiya. When this incident happened, that Musa alayhi salam slapped him on his face, he said that this is, that child. Look, he slapped me on my face. So Pharaoh called on the police. Come, take this child, kill him. So Asiya, when she heard this, she ran. And she said, what are you doing? He's only a child. He doesn't understand anything. He was playing with you. And she said, wait a minute. I'll tell you that he doesn't understand anything. She ordered someone to bring some red rubies and some burning cinder in 2 plates. And she placed them before Musa alayhi salam. And in order to test him, she said, Musa, take whatever you like. Musa alayhi salam was going red ruby, but Jibreel alayhi salam pulled his hand towards the burning coal, cinder, and Musa alayhi salam took that and put it in his mouth, and immediately he burned and he threw it out. But because he put that in his mouth, a part of his tongue was burnt, and that's what caused the stuttering to appear in his speech. So Musa alayhi salam would stutter in the speech. Now Pharaoh was convinced that, he's only a child, and he did it out of ignorance, not understanding the reality, and he let Musa alayhi salam live. But then what happened? Musa alayhi salam grows up, and then the story of killing the Qibti takes place, and Musa alayhi salam has to leave. So Musa alayhi salam said, well, وَلَا يَنْطَلِقُ لِسَانِي, my tongue does not move freely. नहीं शोर बहुत हो रहा है, जरा बंद करो उसको. وَلَا يَنْطَلِقُ لِسَانِي فَأَرْسِلْ إِلَى هَارُونَ, so send forth to Harun alayhi salam as well. Harun alayhi salam, make him a prophet as well. Give him prophethood, make him a messenger. Because Harun alayhi salatu was salam was very fasihul lisan. His tongue was very eloquent. He could speak with eloquence, and he was a very good speaker and orator with eloquence. So Musa alayhi salam said, please make him a Rasul as well, so he can help me and support me in my tabligh and in my da'wah work which I have to do. Musa alayhi salam said, Oh Allah, وَلَهُمْ عَلَيَّ ذَنْبٌ. Another problem is that they have a crime against me. فَأَخَافُ أَنْ يَقْتُلُونَ, and I fear that they will kill me. They have a crime against me. It is also coming that Musa alayhi salam once, due to some mistake, unintentionally killed one Qibti, and that was the reason why he had to leave Egypt and travel to Madian. So that crime is still upon my shoulders. So when I go, they will remind me of my crime and hold me to account and kill me in retaliation. So that is another problem. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Kalla, Musa, by no means will they be able to do this. Don't worry, Musa. Fazhaba bi ayatina. Go with my signs which I am giving you. Inna ma'akum mustami'un. We are with you, hearing and listening to whatever you have to say. Fa'tiya Fir'aun. Go both of you to Fir'aun. Over here, Musa Maulana Abdul Majid Daryabadi has mentioned some quotes from the previous books. For example, he quotes from the Torah or the Bible. And Moses said unto Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, I am slow of speech and slow of a slow tongue. Acts 4, chapter 4, verse number 10. According to the rabbinical version, when Moses was a child of 3 on a certain occasion, a shining piece of gold or a precious stone together with live coal was placed on a plate before the boy to see which of the two he would choose. The angel Jibreel then guided his hand to the coal, which he took up and put in his mouth. This burned his tongue, causing him to stutter. Then Allah said, he asked, Warsid ila Harun. Harun alayhi salam, by his upbringing and training, had already gained a name for eloquent and persuasive speech. Is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know that he can speak well, and he shall be thy spokesman unto the people. Acts chapter number 4, verse number 14 to 16. So Musa alayhi salam asked for that, Oh Allah, make my brother Harun as my assistant and supporter as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, okay, I have made him your assistant with you. فَأْتِيَا فِرْعَوْنَ فَقُولَا إِنَّا رَسُولُ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Go both of you to Fir'aun and say we are the Rasul of Rabbul Alameen. And أَرْسِلْ مَعْنَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيل. All we want you to do is send with us Banu Israel. This is our first request, that you send with us Banu Israel. Why did he make this request? Because Fir'aun had made them as his slaves, and he used to take great work from them. So Musa alayhi salam said, Inna Rasulu Rabbil Alameen. Maulana Abdul Majid Daryabadi rahmatullahi narrates over here, mark the Quranic word Rabbul Alameen. The messengers are from the Lord of creatures, or the Lord of the worlds, and not from the Lord God of your father, as repeatedly mentioned in the Bible. So this is something which he quotes from the Bible, EX chapter number 3. So Musa alayhi salam was told to go and free Bani Israel from the enslavement of Fir'aun. When he goes there, Fir'aun immediately says, قَالَ أَلَمْ نُرَبِّكَ فِينَا وَلِيدًا وَلَبِثْتَ فِينَا مِنْ عُمُرِكَ سِنِينَ. Have you not, O Musa, did we not bring you up among us as a child, and you stayed with us for many years of your life? وَفَعَلْتَ فَعْلَتَكَ الَّتِي فَعَلْتَ وَأَنْتَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. And you did what you did, and now you are of the ungrateful ones. Musa said, فَعَلْتُهَا إِذًا وَأَنَا مِنَ الضَّالِّينَ. I made that mistake, I did that deed when I was mistaken. فَفَرَرْتُ مِنْكُمْ لَمَّا خِفْتُكُمْ فَوَهَبَ لِي رَبِّي حُكْمًا وَجَعَلَنِي مِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. Then I fled from you when I feared you, and my Lord bestowed upon me judgment and made me one of the envoys and messengers. Allama Qurtubi Rahmatullah narrates over here. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So Musa alayhi salam said, he arrived at the door of Pharaoh. Imam Qurtubi Rahmatullah narrates that Pharaoh's palace and mansion was so huge and there were so many gatekeepers and doormen that Musa alayhi salam could not gain entry into his palace. And Imam Qurtubi narrates that Musa alayhi salam had to, make an effort for one whole year in order to get to Pharaoh.
No.
So when Musa alayhi salam finally, got the chance, the message was taken to Pharaoh that there is a man over here who calls himself messenger of God and he wants to speak to you. So Pharaoh laughed and he said, call him in, we'll have some fun. So Musa alayhi salam was called in. And when Musa alayhi salam appeared, he immediately realized, oh, this is Musa. Because Musa alayhi salam had stayed in his house for 20 years. And this is what he reminded. That, oh Musa, you stayed with us until the age of 18 or 20, according to the difference of versions. So Musa alayhi salam comes and then he invites and he delivers this message. And the first sentence that Pharaoh says is, Alam nurabbika feena walidan walabista feena min umurika sinin. Did we not bring you up among us as a child? And you stayed within us a good few years. We brought you up as a child. Muhammad Abdul Majid Dariyabadi Rahmatullah Alayhi narrates very good, quote. So I will read from there. In the royal palace and reared and educated there. Musa alayhi salam was brought up in the royal palace and reared and educated there. Moses was a highly educated man according to this Egyptian standard. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of Egyptian and was mighty in word and deeds. AC chapter number 7 verse number 22. Undoubtedly true, though not mentioned in the OT, the wisdom of the Egyptians consisted of natural science, magic, astronomy, medicine and mathematics. Damilo OP CIT page 827. Parallel with the earliest physical training, Moses, like other children, had to begin by learning to read and write. In Egypt, these accomplishments were not easy of acquirement. Rollinson, Moses, His Life and Times, page 29. The boyish education of Moses was most likely conducted at the court under a pedagogue or tutor assisted by various masters. But as he approached towards manhood, he would be sent to one of the two great universities, nor otherwise would his training have befitted his rank and station, page 32. These are some quotes from the previous books and some other writers who have mentioned that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was educated in the palace under special instruction of Pharaoh. So Musa alayhi salam is saying, Pharaoh is reminding Musa alayhi salam of his favors. That Musa, we fed you, we reared you, we educated you, you stayed with us for 20 years like a prince. You were a prince of this palace, and now you went away from here, and now you come to say that you are a messenger of Rabbul Alameen. What are you doing? Pharaoh said, وَفَعَلْتَ فَعَلَتَكَ الَّتِي فَعَلْتَ وَأَنْتَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. And you did what you did, and now you are from those who are ungrateful. How do you find the courage to come here and talk to me in this manner? Musa alayhi salam said, قَالَ فَعَلْتُهَا إِذًا وَأَنَا مِنَ الضَّالِّينَ. وَفَعَلْتَ فَعَلَتَكَ الَّتِي فَعَلْتَ وَأَنْتَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. This refers to the undersigned death of an Egyptian at the hands of Musa alayhi salam, of which the details will be found in Surah Al-Qasas, like Maulana Abdul Majid Dariyabadi mentioned. قَالَ فَعَلْتُهَا إِذًا وَأَنَا مِنَ الضَّالِّينَ. I did this then, and I was from those who were mistaken. وَأَنَا مِنَ الضَّالِّينَ. What does dalal mean over here? Sometimes dalal is used for misguidance, but other times it's used for mistake as well. So over here, dalal is used for mistake. When I was mistaken. Maulana Abdul Majid Daryabadi narrates, Musa alayhi salam was saying that I wanted to punish that Qibti for his aggression. And it was only by an accident that he died. Dalal is any deviation from that which is right, intentional or unintentional, little or much. And dal is not erring, but also forgetting. And imra'atun dallatun means a woman who has forgotten her days of menstruation. Likewise, wa ana min ad-dallin here means I being of those who forgot. The clear defense of Moses is that the murder was neither intentional nor premeditated and involved no more guilt. So Pharaoh had no reason to reproach Sayyidina Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. So Musa alayhi salam gave the answer to that yes, that mistake did happen, but it was only a mistake. It was unintentional. I didn't mean to kill him. Pharaoh said, Musa, you are a murderer, and now you are coming. He was reminding of the crime. Then Musa alayhi salam said, فَفَرَرْتُ مِنْكُمْ لَمَّا خِفْتُكُمْ فَوَهَبَ لِي رَبِّي حُكْمًا وَجَعَلَنِي مِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ I fled from you when I feared you, and my Lord bestowed upon me judgment and made me one of the envoys. He made me one of the messengers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted me, He forgave me, and He also made me among the messengers. Maulana Abdul Majid Daryabadi narrates, writes here, apostleship of God is incompatible only with deliberate sins and not with accidental mistakes or errors of judgment. So Risalat, messengership, can only contradict and be incompatible with deliberate sins and not with accidental mistakes or errors of judgment. And then he says, وَتِلْكَ نِعْمَةٌ تَمُنُّهَا عَلَيَّ أَنْ عَبَّدْتَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ And that is a favor which you do oblige me with. Even though you had enslaved the children of Bani Israel. Musa alayhi salam said, O Pharaoh, you are reminding me of one favor, and you are not looking at the zulm and aggression which you had inflicted upon the children of Israel. Why did I end up in your house? Because you were murdering the children of Israel. You took care of one child of Bani Israel and you killed millions. So what about those millions whom you slaughtered and you murdered? You are forgetting those. You are calling me wanta min al-kafirin. You are ungrateful. For one person, you only kept me for 20 years in your house, and you are saying I am ungrateful. And how long have you been living? And how ungrateful are you to the favors and bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He is your creator, He is your master, and you are showing ungrateful to Him and forgetting that creator and that Rabbul Alameen. You are reminding me of one favor. What type of speech is this? So Musa alayhi salam, in a very indirect manner, reproached Pharaoh. He didn't say these things directly. He said, وَتِلْكَ نِعْمَةٌ تَمُنُّهَا عَلَيَّ أَنْ عَبَّدْتَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ You are reminding me of one favor, and you are forgetting the fact that you have enslaved Bani Israel and still doing so till this day as well. And then قال Pharaoh. Pharaoh changed the subject. He said, وَمَا رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ Oh, Pharaoh said, and what is the Lord of the worlds? Musa alayhi salam said, رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا إِن كُنْتُم مُوقِنِينَ Lord of the heavens and the earth and whatever is in between, if you seek to be convinced. قَالَ لِمَنْ حَوْلَهُ أَلَا تَسْتَمِعُونَ Pharaoh said to those around him in amazement, do you not hear what Musa is saying? قَالَ رَبُّكُمْ وَرَبُّ آبَائِكُمُ الْأَوَّلِينَ Musa alayhi salam said, your Lord and the Lord of your ancestors. قال إن رسولكم الذي أرسل إليكم لمجنون Pharaoh said, this messenger who is sent to you is mad indeed, is insane and majnoon. قال رب المشرق والمغرب وما بينهما إن كنتم تعقلون Musa alayhi salam said, the Lord of the east and the west and whatever is in between, if you but care to understand and to use your logic. قال لئن اتخذت إلها غيري لأجعلنك من المسجونين Pharaoh said, if you were to take a God other than me, I shall surely place thee among the prisoners. قال أولو جئتك بشيء مبين Musa alayhi salam said, what? Even if I were to bring to you something which is evident and clear proof. قال فأت به إن كنت من الصادقين Pharaoh said, okay then, bring it forth if you are from the truth tellers, فَأَلْقَى عَصَاهُ فَإِذَا هِيَ ثُعْبَانٌ مُبِينٌ. Then Musa alayhi salam cast down his rod, his staff, his stick, and it was a serpent manifest. It was a clear serpent. وَنَزَعَ يَدَهُ فَإِذَا هِيَ بَيْضَاءُ لِلنَّاظِرِينَ. And he drew out his hand, and it was white unto those who behold and who watch and see. Subhanallah. How beautiful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is narrating the conversation between Musa alayhi salam and Pharaoh. Inshallah, we will go into the detailed tafsir of this. So at the moment, we will stop.
جزاك الله.
وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.